But when you're telling these stories of these cars, and it sounds interesting that a guy that could be around these cars and a guy that's kind of well known and is telling the story. So of course we're interested because we're car people. What I really want you to think about is the rest of your senses. I want you to think about that exhaust smell that all of these cars seem to have, and your clothes would smell like it half the time, and that little bit of oil on the manifolds sometimes smell, and that noise. And when you mentioned 4-speed, those gears whining, when you're shifting, when you hear it winding up, all of this visceral experience, like when you tell the story, it's like a little bit watered down. You got to think about almost the violence going on.
Well, the thing is that all of that sort of came together in modern times, because nowadays, when you see stuff online of road tests and driving race cars and everything else, you have sound, you have in-car cameras capturing the shifting, the steering, the road ahead. So it's a complete story. What we did was half the story. It was hard to get across what it was actually like in the car. The cars didn't stop. They weren't comfortable. Stuff rattled and shook around and smelled. And yeah, it was all of that stuff, but it was all what we expected. It was part and parcel to the thing. And you have to remember, those experiences now are considered great history. Back then, that was my job. That's what I did. I went to the track on Saturday or Sunday to run the cars. That's what we did. It wasn't a big deal. Unfortunately, it took time away from my children and family and stuff, but that was part of the job. And it was work, and you got paid for it. And if you look back at what we earned in that job, in those jobs, you could never understand how you raise a family and eventually own a home. That was like a distant hope.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.